Welcome to this installment of Thank You for Your Service. My name is Tom Heiser and I will again be your host. Today David and I are on the road. We're over in Waupaca at the Mobility for Vets wheelchair shop. We are here because several veterans from the Wisconsin Rapids area volunteer their time every Wednesday to come over here and work on wheelchairs, walkers, and things that veterans can use. This is a very interesting project, and as stated, it's all volunteer work. Let's go inside and take a look at what the facility looks like. We're inside the Mobility for Vets wheelchair shop, and we've got the pleasure of meeting Ken Tourville. What is your position here with the shop, Ken?
I happen to be the president of the Mobility for Vets Wheelchair Shop Incorporated.
Okay, and you got a military background?
Yeah, I had served active duty for about 5 years, and then joined the Wisconsin Army National Guard, and served a total of 38 years, 1 month, and 16 days. So.
Okay, so during your active duty time, did you go overseas at all, or?
Well, I mostly did with the Guard. Spent about 12 different times in Germany, and did field exercises and reforger exercises in Germany. Okay. Matter of fact, I was a battalion commander, took my entire battalion over to Germany.
Wow, quite a time in this
Right.
service.
Yep.
Okay, why did you want to go into the service?
Well, I think that was the thing to do way back in 1961. I was in college at the time, and came a little bit disenchanted with studies and wanted to do something different, so I applied to go on active duty, and I went in the Army.
Why the Army? Why not another branch of service? Why did you choose the Army?
Well, I did. I was going to go in the Navy, and I went and took all the tests to be a NAVCAT, be a flyer for the naval program, because I had a couple of buddies that were flyers at the time, and took all the tests and passed the test to go enter cadet school. And then the recruiter told me that bad news, they had just changed the rules, and you needed 60 credit hours of college in order to enter flight school, and I had at that time 58-hour credit time. So I was not qualified, but they told me I was qualified for nuclear submarines, and that's a long way from an airplane. So I had some other friends I were in the Army. I went in the Army.
Okay. So you live here in Waupaca?
I live here, yes.
Okay. And how long have you been involved with the wheelchair shop?
We actually started this shop, it'll be 6 years next month in June. Getting a lot of noise in the background.
Yes.
Busy today.
So you currently live in Waupaca?
Yes, I live here in Waupaca, right.
Okay, about how long have you lived in this area?
Been 16 years. My wife was originally from here. When I retired out of the civilian business, we came up here back to her hometown of Waupaca.
Okay. Wheelchair shop. How long has it been going?
This particular shop right here, which is Mobility for Vets Wheelchair Shop Incorporated, we started here in June of 2012, so it'll be 6 years next month. But prior to that, there was a wheelchair shop up at King that was under the auspices of the DAV, or Disabled American Veterans, and some of us guys volunteered up there. And but the DAV disenfranchised that shop, and shop was done away with, and we got together and said, do we really want to do this again? And we said yes.
I can get it otherwise.
So there's such a need. The veterans, for what we offer the veterans, there's just a real need, because a lot of the guys don't have a lot of money or a lot of pension. So a lot of these chairs and mobility things, we give them to the veterans free of charge.
Okay, so you guys are only here 2 days a week?
Yeah, we're all volunteers. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we're all volunteers. And we're here on Monday and Wednesday from 8 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. But some people, if they have a problem getting here, or no transportation, or jobs or whatever that interfere, we give them our home number, and we'll meet them here for a special occasion, you know.
Okay, so you mentioned veterans in the chairs, it basically depends on financial status that a person will get a chair, or how do you guys differentiate who buys and who gets?
The number one, it's not only veterans. We take care of anybody that's in need of a mobility need of one sort or another. We have a little soft spot for the veterans because we're all veterans here, but we take care of anybody, and that was the one thing that we didn't have at King. They wanted us only to take care of veterans and only veterans that lived at King. So we expanded that. We do a personal interview, and you can kind of tell if somebody has some money or doesn't have some money, and if they or sometimes we just flat ask them, can you afford this or can you afford that, or what is your budget or limit? And if they're really strapped, we'll give it. Our prices run anywhere from $0 up to whatever they ask you. We do have a price on every piece of equipment we have here, but it's a very flexible price.
Okay. So that price, most of these chairs have been donated?
Yes, everything in the shop has been donated. We receive donations from all over the state. It is usually because there's been a loss in the family or whatever, and they don't know what to do with that piece of equipment. And many places won't take the equipment back because of liability. We assume that liability, and we turn them around. Some of the stuff has been used very, very little because after they get it, some of the people have passed away, and it's like brand new equipment.
So, and then people will bring someone here that doesn't look real good, kind of in bad shape and whatever, and you will use that to build another chair?
Yes, we do triage on everything we get donated and make sure that it's a working condition. If it's not, we cannibalize it, and we recycle the metals in it and the wiring, the copper, and good used parts so that we can offer parts. For instance, you look at a wheelchair, it has what they call a toggle switch on them to drive them. This little switch right here, to drive it, we're talking $600 to $1,200 for one of these electric things. We have used ones here that we can use to repair them, or if somebody wants to buy one, if they have a few dollars, we'll sell them for $75, or we'll give them away, whichever one that fits the need at that point.
So as an organization, sometimes there's parts that you have to order or pay for.
Yes.
That comes out of your 501c3 program then?
Some of it does. Yeah, again, it's all on a case-by-case situation. But normally, we have the used parts for it because we've cannibalized a lot of stuff. And the prices, everybody has to make $1, but some of the prices coming through the medical chain are just, like I say, $600 to $1,200 for this little joystick. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I sell the whole chair for less than that.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to mention about the Mobility for Vets Wheelchair Shop Incorporated?
Well, we are volunteers. We are here. If you have a need, we never know what we have. We get all kinds of things donated. We just don't have chairs. We've got walkers, we get oxygen equipment. I even had one day a guy call me up. His father had passed away, and he wanted to know if he could bring the stuff in from his apartment. We said sure, and he brought a whole trailer full of stuff out of the apartment, and right in the middle of it is an electric organ. And I said, where's the organ? He said, well, my dad liked to play the organ, so we brought that along. I said, I suppose now you want a letter that you're an organ donor, But we do, everybody that donates, we issue a letter under our 501c3 program that is tax deductible. The donation to this, because we are at 501, the donation is tax deductible, so it's very advantageous for a lot of people to make that donation.
Okay, I talked to one of your workers one day, and somebody even dropped off a hospital bed, I understand.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, right now in our new storage building outside, I have 3 hospital beds. We try not to take those because purely from a room standpoint, they take up a lot of room. But we just purchased an aluminum storage building outside for some of that specialized equipment. And yeah, I have 3 of those. Many times we have the electronic lifts, the Gator belt lifts, the Hoyer lifts, the stand-to-sit lifts. We have lifts for the back of cars or for vans. that people no longer have a need for. I have some of those out in the garage that we sell at a very reasonable price, and we have a gentleman who runs a business across the street, installs them on the vehicles for people. So very economical for people to get into the mobility, and there's so much need nowadays for mobility.
So if somebody wanted to donate a chair or a walker or something medical field related, how would they get a hold of you to do that?
Well, we do have a website, and I am in 7 different shopper magazines, and a lot of it, we've had a lot of meetings and presentations with a lot of service clubs, VFWs, Purple Heart clubs, American Legion, etc. We've talked to many of the county veteran service officers who know about us. So one way or another, they get a hold of us. But like I said, we do have a website, Mobility for Vets, on yahoo.com. And they give us a call, and we do 2 things. If they can bring it to us, that's fantastic. If it's something that has to be picked up, we do have limited logistical support, because we do have 2 vans. It's just getting somebody that can handle that. Because the age of our people here, I think our youngest person is probably about 68, 69 years old, and our oldest person is a World War I veteran, and he's 93 years old. So we're not youngsters that can go out and pick up some of this heavy stuff, but we do it. We pick up a lot of stuff.
Okay. What if they want to make a donation to you? 501c3, how would they get a hold of you to make a donation for the facility?
A cash donation?
Yes.
They'll call, and I've gotten calls where somebody said that either through a will or an estate or whatever, there was instructions to make a donation to a veteran organization. And a lot of times people like King or some local county veteran service officers or whatever will refer them to us, and we do take cash donations, and we will issue a letter to them for tax deduction to the estate.
Okay. Anything else you want to mention, Ken?
Well, we're always looking for good volunteers. Right now we have 15 of them. And but for the 2 days, we have a lot of people because of our age and all being retired. Like during the winter, we have some snowbirds that go south for the winter and that. But if anybody's got a good electrical background, printer, all this stuff runs on batteries and electrical. We're always looking for good volunteers.
Okay, Ken, thank you for your service, and thank you for what you're doing now. Appreciate it.
More than happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next person we're going to talk with is Jim Peterson, who happens to be the vice president of this organization. Thank you for sitting down with us.
You bet. My pleasure.
Okay, you were a veteran.
Yes.
Of what branch?
I was a Navy pilot.
Navy pilot. Mm-hmm. And what time frame did you serve?
1960 to 1969.
Okay. Overseas?
Yes. I was in Vietnam early, from January through May of 1965.
Okay.
And I was aboard the USS Yorktown.
So you're out in the Gulf of Tonkin?
Mm-hmm. We were out on what they call the Yankee Station.
Okay. So how long were you out there on?
Well, we were there from, like I say, January to May of 65 in Vietnam. But that was my second cruise. Because I got my wings in May of 1962 and had my first cruise from that fall to the spring of 63. And then we were in San Diego until we deployed again in the fall of 64. And then we're in Nam then from January to May of 65.
So missions over the north?
No, I was, Top Gun I was not. I flew a twin-engine anti-submarine warfare airplane called the S-2. And what we were doing didn't seem very important to us at the time. Well, all we were doing is keeping track of the shipping into and out of Haiphong. And it didn't take the Viet Cong long to learn that this airplane did not shoot back. So I have movies of a guy shooting at me with his rifle, in a little inland waterway. But nothing I could do about it. I wasn't allowed to shoot my rockets. We went out armed to the teeth every day. I had 42 rockets on my airplane. Wasn't allowed to shoot them.
We won't get into that.
No.
Okay, so you got.
I was also a landing signal officer.
Okay.
If you know what that means.
Explain.
Okay, the landing signal officer is the guy that stands on the end of the flight deck and assists the airplanes to land.
You're the one we all see going like this?
Paddles, they call them. Yeah, they still call them paddles, but we threw our paddles away years ago.
Okay. So, got done with service. Where are you from now? Where do you live now?
I live here in Waupaca and have for 40 years. I'd never heard of Waupaca until I got a job here 40 years ago. I'm originally from Minnesota.
Minnesota. Okay, so you're in Waupaca. How'd you get involved with the wheelchair shop?
My good friends hooked me into it. Ken and Chuck.
So they said you hooked into it. How did they?
Oh, they just asked me if I would like to volunteer, and I said, yeah, I guess so. So I've been here, I think, 4 years, and I've enjoyed it very much.
And now you're vice president.
Yes.
So what all does that encompass for as far as the wheelchair shop?
Really, really nothing. It's kind of in name only. But if Ken is not, available or whatever, then like all vice presidents, they don't do a whole lot.
When you're here, other than directing people what to do you have any specialties, or do you go from room to room and work on all of them?
I do whatever, and I'm not the most knowledgeable mechanic around, but I can do a lot of minor things. But I rely on people like George, who's the electrical guru, because there's the rest of us don't have the training that George does.
And so much of your inventory here is now electronics related.
Yep. Absolutely.
Most everything. As a matter of fact, in regular wheelchairs, as we all remember them.
Yep. We don't have very many manual wheelchairs. But again, it all depends. We never know what our inventory is going to be. It changes daily. There are times when you don't have very many manual wheelchairs, and other times when we have a glut of them. And the same thing like with scooters and so on. There are times when we have none, and now we have a whole bunch of them. So we never really know, because as Ken described to you, we rely totally on donations.
Okay, when you talk about donations, you go into many businesses, for lack of a better term, the box stores. The big stores have the electronic wheelchairs. Do they bring those to you, or do you not see one?
No, these are all personal donations. I've, at least in the time I've been here, I don't know of any commercial donations.
You see grocery stores. So everything you see here came from a family.
Yep. And we passed them on. As an example, we had a request 2 years ago, I guess it was, from our library, that a scooter would fit their needs, because they have enough people who have mobility needs coming into the library. So we gave them a chair, not a chair, actually a scooter, and that's what we do, and we help whoever needs help. We primarily, of course, are involved with veterans, but you don't have to be a veteran. If you have a need, we'll take care of it. I'll give you a good example, if I may. A woman whom I've known many, many years, she's gone now, but, she was not a veteran, but her husband was. He was a Marine. And he had passed on. Well, then Peg lost a leg from diabetes, I think. So she needed some mobility help. So we got her a scooter. And then her granddaughter was going to get married. And she called us and said, could you kind of clean up my scooter for me? Because I want it to look as nice as it could for my granddaughter's wedding. So we said, sure. Well, even with having one leg gone, she still volunteered at the Meals on Wheels facility. So we went over and picked up her scooter, brought it over here, cleaned it up. I put a new basket on it, and made it look really, really nice. And we brought it back to Peg at her duty station, if you will. And I drove it up to her and I said, here, Peg, here's your Cadillac. What do you think? And she looked at it and she just burst into tears. She said, oh, it's so beautiful. That's why we do what we do.
Right. Now, you guys are not a facility where if somebody buys a chair from a company, you don't repair them. You're not an authorized repair shop,
No,
are you?
no, we're not an authorized repair shop, no. But we do a lot of repairs, and a lot of the chairs that come in, need a lot of help. But we'll do what we can for them. If it's beyond our capabilities, or if the chair is just junk, we will part them out and recycle them.
Okay. But a lot of these chairs, like you said, come from individual families and go to another family.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen chairs come back that you've seen through here before?
Yes, as a matter of fact, that big one right there. I forget how long ago it was that that went out the door, and why it came back, I don't really know, because I wasn't here when it came. But there's also a scooter somewhere in here that I remember us repairing and selling some time ago, and it came back with electrical problems, so that's why we're glad George is here.
Okay. Anything else I forgot to talk about?
No, I think, I'm sure Ken covered the shop as well as anybody could. And, I would just add that I'm very happy to be here. It's very gratifying. It's a good thing to do. And, we're all veterans, except we have a woman now who is not a veteran, but she's a retired superintendent of schools, and she has a sister with mobility needs, so she wanted to volunteer as well. But before Leanne, though, we were all veterans, we were all retired, and we're all volunteers.
And you could always use more help.
Absolutely.
Especially somebody with an electronics background.
Well, yeah. The way things are going, yes, anybody with electronics background would be most helpful.
Okay, they don't have to be retired. They can come in on their day off or
whatever suits them, yeah. But yeah, we could always use volunteers.
Thank you for your service and thank you for what you're doing.
You're entirely welcome.
The next person we're going to talk to is Chuck Woznansky. Chuck, thank you for your service.
You're very welcome.
What is your job here, title with the organization?
Well, let's see, I'm one of the organizers, and I do everything, troubleshoot, and I also take care of the books.
Okay, so you're the treasurer of your organization.
Yes.
Okay. So speaking of books, if somebody wanted to make a donation to the organization, how would they do that?
They would make it out to Mobility for Vets Wheelchair Shop Incorporated, 270 Grand Seasons Avenue, Waupaca, Wisconsin, 54981.
And you would get them all the tax information they would need for their accountants.
That is correct. We would send them a thank you letter. We're a 501c3 corporation. We're celebrating our 6th anniversary come June 1st, which is the end of this week. And we appreciate any donations whatsoever. We have our main expense is batteries. Most of the chairs and repairs that are brought in here are for batteries. And we sell batteries at cost, and we get our batteries from Interstate. So we try to maintain the equipment with batteries and anything else we can do.
Okay. So where do you live, Chuck?
I live outside of King, Wisconsin, in the Waupaca town of Dayton.
Okay. And what branch of military were you in?
I was in the U.S. Army Reserve from 1955 to 1963.
Okay. And what was your job in the reserves?
Training mainly at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. I was only in for a year in Fort Leonard Wood.
I spent a year in Leonard Wood, which included the winter time.
Right, it'd be a good time in the winter time. Somebody will be right with you.
So, being the treasurer, you're in charge of a lot of the money here, and the comings and the goings. You said the batteries are your biggest expense.
Right.
Most all your wheelchairs, I was looking at your inventory here, I'd say 90% involve electronics, don't they?
Yes. They're most of our wheelchairs are electronic wheelchairs. They either take 1 or 2 batteries. Most of them take 2 batteries. There's a battery for each wheel so that you can turn the wheelchair around on a dime if you so need. And other than that, we tear apart those that we can fix, and we cannibalize the parts from that machine to repair other machines. I don't know if Ken went with you through that, but. And we have manual walkers, 4-wheel walkers. We have aluminum walkers. We handle bathroom equipment, all sorts of bathroom equipment, for tub and for toilet and for shower. And you even get donations of exercise machines. For people that have a knee replaced, we have a machine that moves the knee up and down to exercise it, get the muscles back in shape. And we have a room full of electronic equipment, a room full of miscellaneous headgear, a room full of miscellaneous wheels, 4 electric chairs, and also for manual chairs. So in case somebody comes in with a wheel problem, we can give them a new wheel, and they can either put it on themselves or we can put it on for them.
So a lot of activity you guys are here twice a week, correct?
Right, we open on Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock, and most any other time when people call, if there is an emergency.
Okay. And your primary focus is veterans, however, you do go outside the veterans
Oh,
community.
yes. Our primary purpose was organized for veterans, but we saw so much need for other people that we extended that to anybody that has a disability problem. Matter of fact, that's one of the reasons why they left us go at King. We were there for a number of years, and they closed us up, and 6 of us started this organization back in 2011, actually.
And been busy ever since.
Quite busy.
And everybody's volunteer.
Everybody's a volunteer, yes. We couldn't, if we had to pay somebody to work for us, we just couldn't afford it.
Understandable. Anything else you want to tell us about the wheelchair shop?
You got my mind spinning. We do set up for open houses and for senior affairs, so that more people know that we're around. Other than that, not really much. We're in a rent-free building right here, right now, and the landlord has given us we have 30 days to move once the landlord sells the property. So that puts us in quite a bind. Because we'll never probably move all this equipment out of here in 30 days.
But so far, so good.
So far, so good for the last 6 years, yes.
Okay.
Very generous donor from, originally from around the area. Now, I think he lives in California. So we're very gracious for his support.
So you are looking for another facility, but not real hard looking for another facility.
We do every time a facility comes up, but location is the main problem for us. We have to tell people how to get here. Some of the locations we have looked at are not very conducive for people to get to, and other ones are kind of hard to explain to people how to get there. So that presents a problem to us.
And not only that, it has to be accessible for wheelchair
Right,
people.
that is correct. We're, like I say, pretty fortunate to have this facility at our use.
You go down 54 about a block.
I can't think of anything else other than that.
Turn right.
Chuck,
We're the last place.
thank you for your service and thank you for what you do here.
You're very welcome. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Okay, next person we're going to interview is Mike Sullivan from Wisconsin Rapids. Mike, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Okay, a little bit of history, Mike. You were in the military.
Yes.
And understand you were drafted.
Drafted, yep.
Okay, and when were you drafted in the military?
I was drafted in 1970.
And you made the trip to Southeast Asia?
I went to Vietnam as a draftee and spent my year in Vietnam in the Army. I was infantry / mortar, and most of the time was in the jungle or in helicopters, protecting helicopters, or in the jungle fighting.
And you're from Rapids?
Yep,
Work for the city?
yep.
Okay. And now the wheelchair shop. How'd you get involved in the wheelchair shop, Mike?
I had a friend named Pete Patrick who still works here. He isn't here today, but he works here. And his daughter asked me if I'd give him a ride here a couple of times a year to visit these guys and help them. And I started taking Pete here, and I've been here ever since, 4 years now, coming back and forth every week. And we make sure none of us that come here from Rapids make any doctor's appointments or dentist appointments on Wednesdays now, because we work here.
Okay. So you said Pete Paterick.
Yeah.
Pete was a World War II vet,
Hey,
and he's still coming here.
he's still coming here at 93 years old. He gave up driving, his driving skills, his eyesight isn't as good, but he comes here and does work on the wheelchairs and helps out, and amazing for a guy 93, what he's doing.
Pete actually covers, he's your World War II vet and
Yes.
a Korean vet.
Yep,
So
both,
both of them.
yep.
So, okay, so you come from Rapids, volunteer. The gas is all out of your pocket.
It was up until we got the van.
Okay.
And now we got a second van here, and it was donated by a lady from Port Edwards, and it's in very good mechanical shape. And now, because Pete gave up his driver's license in his vehicle, we use his garage for store the van in the wintertime and not all the time. So we put the wheelchair van in his garage, and we drive over there, pick it up, and pick everybody else up and bring them back. We still have to take a truck once in a while and bring an extra truck if there's extra guys, because sometimes there's 6 of us, and there's only 5 seats in the van. So.
But you also do pickups. If somebody gets a hold of you and they have something in Rapids, you pick it up and bring it.
Yeah, and now we got the van to do that, which is nice. We used to do my truck, and I had a ramp on it, and I don't need that anymore. That was a lot of work sometimes, but now the van has a lift in it, and yeah, it works good.
Okay. But you do pick up in Rapids?
Yep, Rapids, Marshfield, wherever they have one. Yeah, Neilsville, sometimes Toma.
So if people call here, they got to pick up in Rapids, they'll get a hold of you or somebody over there.
Ken will call us and tell us, well, we got to pick up at so-and-so place, and we go down and get it
Okay.
and bring it there.
So, do you have a specific job here at the wheelchair shop?
No. No, whatever they want me to do, I drive. Sometimes work on the machines, sometimes we tear machines down for parts. We have a lift in the back that we put them on, and we need parts. We tear them down, and we eventually use those parts for other wheelchairs. We got quite a number of tires and wheels and rims and whatever you have for wheelchairs, we got it.
Okay. So, even if it's in rough shape, you still use a couple of parts off of every machine that you get, pretty much?
If not, we tear it down for the metal, and we throw it in a metal bin, and we get paid for that. We have walkers a lot of times, and we have an excess of walkers a lot of times, and they get shipped to Winchester Larson. And Winchester Larson makes a lot of the manual walkers and manual chairs. They do a lot of them at Winchester Larson. They're a Lions Club there. And what they can't use gets picked up in Green Bay by a guy. He carts them over to Green Bay and puts them in a semi. And then the semi goes down to New Orleans, and they send them to third world countries. So they're all going to be used, these walkers, canes, crutches. We get too many of them, and you got to do something with them rather than tear them down for metal. So they're reused in third world countries where they do some good.
So everything is used, basically?
Everything is.
Very little goes...
Right.
really damaged.
Either we use it for metal that we get paid a scrap price for, or we use it for third world countries. Yep.
Wow. And all volunteers?
We're all volunteers. Yeah, the pay is good.
It's the friendship that's...
Yeah.
Okay, anything else that you want to add about your job here or the wheelchair shop in general?
It's pretty much a group advice. We decided on getting a shed. We all decided on the shed, and Jim Swicky and I went and found one and come back, and we bought it, and here it is. We got a shed for storage. We got a garage here for storage, but that fills up fast too. And you can see we got a floor full of wheelchairs. You got to do something with those excess ones until we can get to them. Yeah.
So really busy every Wednesday.
We're busy every Wednesday. Sometimes they wait for us to come from Rapids because there's 4, 5, 6 of us that come, so on a regular basis. But it's a great job.
Keeps
Pay
you out
is
of trouble.
great.
Keeps you out of trouble. Anything else?
No.
Mike, thank you for your service. and
Thank you,
for
Tom.
what you're doing.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, next person we're talking with is Harvey Zwicky from Wisconsin Rapids. Harvey, thank you for your service.
Right, thank you, Tom.
Tell me a little bit about your history with the military included. You're from Rapids, correct?
Yes, yes. And then all my life I lived in Wisconsin Rapids. And when I was 18, 3 of us decided to volunteer for the draft and go into the Marine Corps. Well, we went to the Army, but then they drafted us into the Marine Corps. Well, then we went over to Vietnam after all our training and was there in 1970 and 69, 70 I was in Vietnam.
Okay, so you were in the infantry, correct?
Yes, yes. 0311, yeah.
Pardon?
0311.
Which is?
As infantry.
Okay. Wheelchair shop. How'd you get involved in this?
Well, Mike Sullivan, is a good friend of mine, and Mike was coming here, and then he knew Pete. Pete isn't here today. Pete Patrick, I don't know if you know Pete or not, and he was coming here for years and years and years when it was at King yet. And Pete really enjoyed it, so he got Mike into it. And Mike asked me, he says, would you be interested? And I said, yes, I would. I would love to go there. So ever since that, probably 3.5 years now, I've been coming. Mike's been here probably 4.5. Pete's been here forever.
So every Wednesday?
Yes, every Wednesday we come unless we got prior appointments. But I try not to miss because it's an enjoyable job and it's very rewarding. And I mean, it's, you see people smile, you're helping people, and Kenny and the guys here are just super to work for. And it's a super bunch of people. I mean, they're kind-hearted, easygoing, and just fine, I really can't say enough about the place.
So do you have a specific job here, or?
Well, whatever comes up. Kenny needs somebody, he hollers one of our names, and we either go fix, put batteries in, deliver. We do almost everything. George is our electrician. He handles most of the hard jobs, but we change the batteries and the simple things we handle as far as electrical and repairs. We all kind of put our knowledge together because a lot of guys like Jim and all the guys that open the shop, like Kenny here, he knows everything. And if we don't know it, we just go to Kennedy or Chuck, and Frank used to be here too, Frank. And those guys are the original guys that started it up, and Al, them guys put all their money together and when they were left King and came over here, and that's what it started.
So when you walk in here on Wednesday morning, you don't know what you're going to be doing?
Oh, no. I mean, everything, every week is different. I mean, it is. I mean, you just come and Kenny says, well, this got to be done, that's got to be done. Everybody just chips in and does it.
So you could be building or you could be carrying.
Oh, yes, exactly. We could be out in the back garage there. We could be remodeling, or we could be hanging chairs, or I don't know if you went into the other sheds, but we got lots of parts. So we're moving them around, and Kenny and the boys got us a new shed over here, and we're move stuff from one place to the other. But all I can say,
Go ahead.
it's very rewarding. I gotta say that. I mean, it is. I mean, it's what I don't know. You see people are happy, and you see people come here that don't have a lot of money, and Kenny will say sometimes, well, what do I owe you? And Kenny will tell them, I think you paid the price already, and Kenny will actually give them something. A chair, I've seen chairs go out of here free of charge. I've seen walkers go out of here free of charge. I've seen people that wanted to pay $10 a month because that's all they had, and Kenny would say, well, I think you paid the price, take it. And then people actually start crying. And it's a very rewarding, it's actually fun. We work hard some days, but it's
Fun work.
Fun work, yes, that's what I say, yes. And everybody takes turns bringing in bakery, and Mike brings sandwiches every week, and we sit down, we shoot the bowl for half an hour, 45 minutes like we did when you But that's the fun part, I mean. it's rewarding. It is. It's very rewarding, yeah.
So what else can you tell us about the shop?
Everyday life, baseball, football when it's winter, and what everybody's doing. And Kenny last year, he took us out on his pontoon boat. He lives on the lake over here, outboard by King, and we all sat there, and Kenny had a nice outing for us, brought some little something to eat, and then we went on his pontoon boat for a tour of the lakes, which was very nice. I mean, it was, but that's the rewards, you know. I mean, but and basically everyday stuff like you would talk to your wife about, you know, it's something that comes up. Like tell a few jokes.
So, but basically, you enjoy coming to the wheelchair shop.
Yes. I think it's wonderful. And like I said, I've come in probably 3.5 years or so, and I look forward to it. I do. And like I say, every day it's something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
No, like I say, it's a fun place to come. It is. I mean, some days it gets frustrating because, you know, you're trying to figure something out and somebody's waiting for their chair, and you're trying to do the best you can, and there's something simple that's right there in front of you, and oh, here it is.
Harvey, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Next individual we'll be talking with is Jim Zwicky from Wisconsin Rapids. Jim, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your time in service, when you went in and what branch you went in.
Went in 1965 for 4 years, Naval Air Force, jet mechanic. 2 times over to Vietnam, and a whole bunch of other shit in between.
That's what's happening.
Okay, so you spent 2 tours of Vietnam.
Yep.
What time frames?
Let's see, it was 67, December of 67 into 68, and then the latter part of 68 into 69.
You think, Roger, you like that?
And the first time was during the Pueblo incident, when the Koreans captured our spy ship. We got called off the line of Nam and had to go over to Korea and patrol the waters and a show of force. And we were missed the record for being out at sea by just a few days from World War II. They just couldn't keep us out any longer.
Wheelchair shop. How'd you get involved in a wheelchair shop?
Well, it goes from Pete, our 93-year-old wheel shop participant, worker, and he always talked about it, and then he got Mike. Mike was starting to drive him here, and then Mike got my brother involved, and my brother got me involved, and that's the process we had.
So about how long have you been involved with the wheelchair?
Let's see, this is 4 years now.
This
Yep.
looks narrow.
Pretty much every Wednesday.
Yeah, pretty much every Wednesday. Once in a while a Monday thrown in when they really get swamped. Yeah, we enjoy coming here and try to schedule doctor's appointments and everything else, so it's not on Wednesday, so we can come here. Because it's not work, it's fun. And it's a real good feeling when someone comes in and needs it fixed and needs a lot of help, and we do it and say, there you go, how much do we owe you? Nothing. Have a good day. That's a good feeling.
So do you have a specific job here, or you just...
Nobody has a specific job except George. He's our electrician. We just got done changing a tire, now we're working on a seat. Anything and everything, whatever comes up, from manual wheelchairs to power wheelchairs to
I like
changing the seats on them or changing a motor on them.
Well, we've got these too.
Something new every time we come. Or a pickup and a delivery, or
So you don't know what you're going to be doing?
no, we don't know, and don't know where we're going. We'll go all the way to Green Bay and back, and up above Marshfield, and even down to Milwaukee one time. We're all over.
So if somebody calls and has something for you guys to come get, you had mentioned one time you even got a hospital bed.
yes, we pick up hospital beds, and we got a couple of them in the garage. We just picked up one last week, brand new one. The veteran had to go to an assisted living place, and the bed was already furnished. It was brand new. He donated it to us, and the next veteran that needs one will donate it to him. That's how it goes. Just kind of like the VVA, we make money to give it away.
Exactly.
That's what-
Anything else about the wheelchair shop you want to discuss?
That's just a great group of guys to work with. Everybody's friendly. So they are, they're a great group of guys, you know, everybody gets along well. Always looking for more help. There's Thursdays, we got both wheelchair vans going in different directions. And like today, there's customers coming in looking at this. And a lot of times Ken is swamped, you know. He's our go-to person. He's our salesperson. He knows everything and anything about a wheelchair.
So if a person wanted to volunteer over here, they don't have to be super mechanically inclined.
No, nope. We need driver, shotgun, somebody to go shotgun, somebody with a little muscle sometimes, and yeah, just a helping hand, an extra hand. Most of the time it takes two guys to take a seat off a wheelchair, because you got to pull the lever up and you got to wiggle it out. And you don't want to pull too hard and then go over backwards.
So like I said, if someone's not really mechanically inclined, they can go start taking things apart.
Oh yeah, we got teardowns too. Well, there's stuff that comes in that's we can't find parts to or something, so we tear it down and save the parts that are usable. And we got shelving back there. When you get back in that area, there's all kinds of shelves and spare parts, and they're all labeled for manual wheelchairs, the power wheelchairs, the two-wheeled walkers, the four-wheeled walkers.
The bigger chairs like that
Yeah,
one,
just all kinds.
that has a small seat, but it's a big.
Anything else you want to talk about the wheelchair shop?
Well, let's see, are you available on Wednesdays?
Capacity to it.
I have been busy things also, yes. I do a lot of my shows on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
But, so looking for help, if somebody wants to come and help, they know you, they can get a hold of you or get a hold of the shop.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, we get a group of guys together. Sometimes we got the wheelchair van that was donated to us, and we got it licensed and checked over, and we use that wheelchair van, go from Rapids to here and back, and then pick up and deliveries too. So we can get 5 guys in the wheelchair van. And if we have more than that, well then somebody else will drive with their vehicle. Yeah. There's times that we're super busy, and then there's times that we enjoy a nice long coffee break.
Now I'm 80 years old and I thought, you know what? Can't with it.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Jim,
Okay.
thank you for your service and thank you for what you do.
Thank you for what you do.